So in your back office, there's a feature here called text messages. And so the purpose of this feature is just one more way to communicate with your prospects and get them to respond to you. Now, this does not replace, calling the day or 2 days after you send your booklets. The call is essential. But maybe you call and they don't answer the phone. Or maybe you call and you have a short conversation. They say, well, listen, I'm going out of town for 10 days. Can you, call me in 2 weeks? So in the meantime, these text messages can get delivered, and they can be very effective at getting the prospect to respond to you. So this feature is off until you turn it on. So before you turn it on, you should probably take a look at how it works. So first, you'll want to click here, how to use the auto messaging service. And here's a description of how to use it and what the responses will look like when you get them. Because sometimes, be aware, sometimes when people respond to a text, they respond something like yes. And you're thinking, well, what are they responding yes to? Well, in this case, they're an annuity prospect. That's the lead type they're responding to text number 2, and their name is Mary Smith. And this is Mary Smith's number that she responded from, okay? So that's how you interpret when you get one of these messages that you get on, and these will come to your mobile phone number that you set up when you activate this service. The prospect will never see your number. They're seeing a computer phone number, but when they respond, the computer sends it back to you, so the response shows up on the cell number you provide. The other thing before I show you the details, when to remove a prospect. Now, let's say you send out the booklet, you call Mrs. Smith the next day, and she says, sure, yeah, I can meet with you on Friday. Well, obviously, if she's agreed to meet with you, you don't want to keep having her get these marketing text messages or marketing emails like the autoresponder. So you'd want to delete her from the system. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And down here, there's a description of what I'll show you in a few minutes, how to access your control. And, so look at these little notes because they're very useful and very easy to interpret. So your settings are as follows. You click here where it said settings. And let's say this is your account and you had registered for 3 lead types, pre-retirees, retirees, and annuity owners. So if you click the drop down on any of these, what you'll see first when you click it, here would be all the prospects that were, let me back up a minute, all the prospects that you received for this lead type, okay? So annuity owners, and it'll show all your prospects. Now, this is where you would click here, and if you wanted to delete Mrs. Smith because she's already agreed to meet with you, bingo, right here, there'll be a delete button next to her name, all right? Back up. Let's look at what else is on here. Now, these are the 3 text messages. So when you get a response back that shows a number 2 in the message, it means that the person is responding to this message number 2 for annuity owners, okay, or whatever lead type shows up in the response. Now, you might say, I don't want to send a message. I want to change that message a little bit. No problem. There's a modify button here. Just click this and it'll let you change the message. Or you might say, you know what? I don't want this message, by the way, goes out 5 days after you get the lead. This message goes out 10 days, and this message goes out 15 days. You might decide, I don't want to send any messages before 10 days. So you could just click disable, and none of the prospects of this lead type will get a message on the 5th day. They'll all get these other 2 messages, but this one, that's how you disable if you choose to do that. And then you have your other lead types here. So each lead type has its own different set of messages, which again, you can disable or modify. And then you've got your list of prospects here for each lead type. See, this is where if it was Mrs. Smith, you could remove her by doing this. So take a little time, review it, and turn it on and let this do some marketing for you.